Hello, Wrestling Fanatics. Welcome to 360 Wrestling Fanatic. And I was just getting ready to start recording the podcast now. And then I noticed last second I forgot my headset didn't have my headphones on. But luckily I do now. Even though it was last second, better late than never. All set up now, all good to go, and ready to talk pro wrestling with everyone here tonight. And as I said in that little preview there, TGIF Friday night, Smackdown as usual, and back at its regular scheduled night and time. It is AEW Rampage. And then after the two recaps, I'll see if there's any news going on in the world of pro wrestling. There usually is at least some news to talk about going on in the world of pro wrestling. We are now only 1 week away from WrestleMania weekend, the biggest weekend of the whole year for pro wrestling. Definitely a busy pro wrestling weekend. I know I talk about that a lot, but it is definitely the case next weekend. Just next Friday night, all the GCW stuff going on. Got Smackdown followed right after by the Hall of Fame. And Rampage, I believe, as well, back at its regular time Friday night. But one difference with one AEW show, Collision will be airing late night at the 11:30 time slot. Like I said, busy weekend next week. But it's the biggest time of the year, WrestleMania season. But first, let's focus on tonight, this week, Friday, March 29th, 2024. And let's start talking about WWE Smackdown. And our commentators for tonight, Corey Graves and Wade Barrett. We start off with tag team action. Pretty Deadly taking on the team of KO, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton. Alright match to start things off on SmackDown this week. And from under the ring comes the WWE United States Champion, Logan Paul, with some brass knucks, gets in the ring, knocks out Kevin Owens, allowing Pretty Deadly to pick up the victory. After the match, Randy Orton gets in the ring, obviously upset his team losing this match tonight. And then, conveniently, on the Titantron, they're showing the replay of what took place with Logan Paul hitting Kevin Owens with the brass knucks. He sees what happened. He goes out the other side, looks under the ring, grabs Logan Paul, throws him in the ring. And Logan Paul will defend the WWE United States Championship next weekend at WrestleMania. And as of right now, I do not believe they've said what night that will be taking place on, whether Saturday or Sunday just yet. Or at least I don't think they have anyway. Or actually, other than the tag match and the Universal World Championship matches. I don't think they've said which match is going to be on which night just yet. I could be wrong though, but I don't think so. And just one thing I want to get to real quick. The commercials for Raw that aired tonight, it was announced that this Monday in Brooklyn, Raw will be commercial free for the first hour. Also, they've already announced that The Rock will be appearing on the Go Home episode of Raw before WrestleMania. And then we see an interview that was recorded earlier in the day at the Performance Center with Io Sky, and that is interrupted by Bayley. And Smackdown general manager is it? No, see, I get ahead of myself sometimes. Smackdown general manager Nick Aldis is in the ring, and he introduces SmackDown's newest signee, Jade Cargill. And this is just her, I guess you could say, her first night as an official member of the SmackDown roster. I'd say so far it went pretty well. And big fan of Jade Cargill. And I think her run in AEW really helped. She really improved. I know she has her critics, but I feel like she has really improved during her time in AEW. And to be honest, I do see a bright future for her in WWE. Could be wrong, who knows. And then we have another qualifying match for the six-pack challenge ladder match for the WWE Tag Team Championships. And Austin Theory and Grayson Waller defeated the Street Profits. And then we found out that we see the LWO, and we find out that Santos Escobar contacted Dominic Mysterio about him coming out and getting involved in the match last week, costing his father, Rey Mysterio, the match against Santos Escobar. And at that time, Rey challenges them to a match, and we find out that there is a new member of the LWO, and it is none other than Dragon Lee. He'll be joining forces with Delta O, take on the god that fell Phantasma. Legado del Fantasma. I always have trouble saying that. And speaking of them, Legado del Fantasma, they're in the other qualifying match for the six-pack challenge ladder match, and they take on the New Catch Republic, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. Dunne and Bate get the win here. Pretty good tag team match. And in the main event of SmackDown tonight, women's action, Bianca Belair taking on Dakota Kai. Belair gets the win. Damage Control, of course, gets involved. And Naomi comes down to try to make the save for Bianca. But the numbers game, 3-on-2. And then at this time, we actually see Jade Cargill come out and make the save for Bianca and Naomi. Obviously, as of right now, it looks like we're gonna see a babyface Jade Cargill which of course, like I mentioned, her AEW run earlier, mostly a heel during that run, and she had the long reign as TBS champion. But so far, she appears going to be a babyface here on the Smackdown brand, but we will just have to wait and see. You never know. And now we go over onto TNT now for AEW Rampage, which was taped last Wednesday night after Dynamite in Quebec City, Quebec. And we start things off the natural Dustin Rhodes taking on the Butcher. Good opening match, I thought. Dustin Rhodes, hey, he can still definitely go in the ring. He gets the win over the Butcher, and then we get the Bullet Club Gold, or the Bang Bang Gang now, for family dinner. Go to Daddy Ass's Billy Gunn's house. They break in, and Jay White about to smash the TV of Billy Gunn, and then at that time, Billy comes into his house and chases them off. The virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo is in action, and she defeats Rose. Mariah May, along with the AEW Women's World Champion, Timeless Toni Storm, is in action. She defeats Nikita. And in the main event of Rampage this week, as the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, would say, it's time for the main event. And is a title eliminator match. The AEW International Championship. Roderick Strong taking on Daddy Magic Matt Menard, Quebec's own Daddy Magic Matt Menard, that is. And as the crowd was chanting there in Quebec, hopefully I won't mess this up too badly. Papa Madi, I might have messed that up, said that terribly. Hopefully I didn't say it too bad though. Good match here. I was actually expecting, since hey, they're in Quebec, Matt Menard's from not too far from there in Montreal. Maybe it's not a title match, but maybe they'll let him get this title eliminator and then go on to Rampage next week and then face Strong for the International Championship. But that was not the case. The numbers game an advantage of the Undisputed Kingdom. Mike Bennett and Matt Taven get involved, and Roderick Strong picks up the win, defeating Matt Menard. And then they go on the 3-on-1 attack. And then the best friends, freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta, come out, make the save, clear the ring, about to hug. But then at this time, the Young Bucks sneak into the ring and hit both of them with a low blow. They will face off Wednesday, I believe, on Dynamite in the AEW World Tag Team Championship Tournament. And then Rampage goes off the air. So that was our Friday night pro wrestling lineup on this Good Friday. And I would say maybe nothing too spectacular, but at the same time, though, definitely not a bad night of pro wrestling. Had an alright episode of Smackdown, had a good night of Rampage, and pretty good night. And like I said, next Friday night, they're really going to have to load that card of Rampage because definitely a lot of competition. That would be an understatement. You got Smackdown in the Hall of Fame, and also Ring of Honor, Super Card of Honor, on Honor Club next Friday night. And before I wrap up the episode of the podcast, I want to get into a little bit of news. Unfortunately, there's some sad news I want to mention. I'm sure he probably won't hear this. He's probably not listening to the podcast, but condolences to Tony Schiavone. His dog, Bug, which if you're a listener of Tony's podcast, What Happened When, you watched the video version of it, you probably seen Bug quite a bit. Very sad news. The passing of Bug, the dog of Tony Schiavone. And I was talking about this morning on Good Morning Wrestling Fans about the Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame. And at the time, the only one I knew that for sure was announced was the Briscoes going in. But now I see that Sabu has been announced for the Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame. That'll take place next week as part of GCW's The Collective. And that is about all the news I have tonight. Thank you everyone for tuning in, for listening, downloading. Thank you very much. It's all appreciated. Or in this case of tonight, watching, because there's also a video version of episode 573 of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. So check that out on 360 Wrestling Podcast YouTube channel as well, and listen on Spreaker or wherever else you can find podcasts. Remember, in the comment section down below here, leave your thoughts and your comments on tonight's episodes of Smackdown and Rampage. Also, WrestleMania predictions, only 1 week away. Leave your predictions in the comment section, either right here on Spreaker, on YouTube, or wherever you listen or watch 360 Wrestling Podcasts in the comment section. Thank you, everyone. And as always, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, all the social media, follow. And we'll be back tomorrow morning for the Monday, getting ahead of myself. The Friday, no, I'm getting day behind. The Saturday episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans, going to preview tomorrow night's AEW Saturday Collision. Also back on its regular night and time. Until next week. But I'll talk to everyone tomorrow morning on GMWF. But until then, I am Lance, and I am a wrestling fanatic.